Okay, we're going to have our first speaker today. Stephen got his first interest in hypnosis as a child. His first success came in high school and college, which led to formal training at on the Hypnosis Training Center in 2001. Stephen continued on to become a certified instructor with the National Guild of Hypnosis. Although his professional career as a software engineer remains more financially practical, Stephen continues to pursue this passion as time allows with clients, students, shows, and speeches such as today's. Let's welcome Stephen Morgan with What is Hypnosis?
There are two questions I get most commonly when I say, oh yes, I'm a hypnotist. The first one is it real? No, I've just been imagining it for the past 25 years. The other being, what is it? And the fact is, you've already all been there already. Everyone does. If you have any imagination whatsoever, you have been in a hypnotic state at some point in time. Defining hypnosis is actually a little bit difficult because there is no standard definition accepted by any organized group at all. Although the National Guild of Hypnotists, when I had done their training, they like to use the definition that it is an altered state of consciousness. How many of you have been in an altered state of consciousness? I think you could say that's a little bit broad. Perhaps. When I am doing what I like to do with hypnosis, I'm an engineer by nature. I like to try and approach it from a point that makes it practical and useful. So I have to start with a model, something that makes sense that I can then apply to get results that I'm hoping to get. The model that I use works something like this. You've heard about the subconscious mind. We all have it, we're born with it. It's the part of us where we have our instincts. It's the part that interprets our sensory input. It's the part of our basic emotions. A newborn child can be angry, can be happy, it can feel, it can taste, it can see. All of these things come in. But the newborn can't analyze anything, can't understand or rationalize. You have to learn that. That takes a little bit of experience and development within the brain. Evolutionary, this is something that came much later. Our ability to match patterns and be able to look at something and recognize it. That is something that we learn as we grow older. And there is a point in our lives, each of us, where we get to this point we decide this is the way the world is. It's based on our own experiences. Your experiences are different from mine, so your view of the world will be different from mine. We all have it. And once we have it formed, new ideas that want to challenge that, we tend to automatically reject. And those that reaffirm what we already know, we tend to let all right through. And it is this barrier that I'm trying to get past. Now this is what the conscious mind does. Analyzing, rationalizing, setting up everything and kicking stuff out that we just don't accept in the first place. In order to get past that, what I want to do to get to the subconscious where the emotions are and where all of the memories that have been tied to them are, I want to get a hole through that little shield we've built up. And I do it by engaging the imagination. It's that particular part where we can create scenarios in our mind, things that might happen. In a way, we're kind of preparing ourselves for what may happen or remembering things that have because we enjoyed them or not. But they are ways that we can create experiences within our own mind. You do it when you read a book. You do it when you watch a movie or TV. Sometimes you're doing it while driving down the road. Okay, how many of you have been driving down the road and didn't remember the last several miles you've been driving? Hypnotic state. It's a good thing that your subconscious can drive. We'd have a lot more problems if it couldn't. Have you ever seen people zoning out watching television, reading a book? Time flies and you didn't realize it. That is what a hypnotic state is. That is the hypnotic state. It's in a sense daydreaming. Okay, is there anyone here who has not daydreamed? Okay, you've all been in hypnosis. This is why it's really interesting when I'm doing a stage show, for example, or if you've ever seen anyone who does a stage show, and the people who get up and volunteer, and they come back afterwards and go, I wasn't in hypnosis, I felt normal. Yeah, you've been daydreaming before, haven't you? It's really fun, the people who go, oh, I was just playing along. Yeah, you were imagining, pretending, playing, what's the difference? Or that they remembered everything. There's nothing wrong with remembering. Some people can have spontaneous amnesia, but not everyone does. But the key thing with a show is when they get up there, they know they're intended to be funny, to have fun, be entertaining. The people who are willing to get up there already have selected themselves to be that way, and the person conducting the show as the hypnotist is going to send back people who won't go into trance or just who aren't interested. So what you end up with afterwards is a very entertaining show. Now, doing stuff more in a setting where you're trying to help somebody and you're not putting them up in front of an audience, you've got a different approach. You're trying to help them with a particular thing that they've come with you for. Now, if you're trying to work with, say, somebody who has a fear of flying, which is a fun one, in actuality, the worse it is, the easier it is to get rid of. Because their imagination has put so much energy into maintaining that fear, all you have to do is find out where it's coming from. Usually it's eager to let go, because it doesn't need to anymore. It doesn't. Once you realize you don't have to protect yourself, you can let that go. Any emotional event, trauma, thing that you want to deal with, has been tied to some sort of a memory. Our memory is a combination of our emotional state and our sensory input, which is why seeing a particular image, smelling a particular smell, can bring back sudden emotions that you weren't expecting. But in hypnosis, we're trying to get down to that part where you find out where it's coming from and get an opportunity to alter it as you choose, as long as you can imagine it. That's where the key is, being able to imagine. And if you have that ability, you can make that happen. You can go to hypnosis. You can make any change you want. When it comes down to people worried about going to do something silly to you, there's always, they cluck like a chicken. I don't know why anyone would bother. That's so boring. But the key thing is, can I make somebody do that? Can you imagine doing it? If you can't imagine doing it, I'm not going to be able to do anything. Because it's your imagination that is what makes it happen. I can guide. I can give different perspectives. And perhaps allow you to figure out how you can make the change. I don't make the change. It's your own imagination and your own mind that makes it happen. So when you find yourself driving down that road, realize there's a few miles you don't remember. You might have an opportunity to make a change, but I would suggest doing it in a safer setting. If you have the opportunity to get up and have fun on stage for a show, realize it's just all for fun. And if you like being up on stage, that's a great opportunity to do it. And if you're afraid of getting up here, that's something I can help with for sure, as Toastmasters has all along. If you have any further questions, I'm happy to answer them, because that's the biggest thing I have to do regardless. Everybody just understand what it is, then it makes a whole lot more sense.